Or C, a genie.
Okay, so C's out.
This is it. A genie? All right.
D, the secessionists had found a magical genie. And I, for one, am glad to have been able to get to know her. Via these stories. Pompeii's farmers were famous for their onions and for their vineyards, whose wine, oh boy, resulted in tremendous hangovers. Reportedly. While Maat Kare is the name most frequently found on her monuments, for our story, I'm going to keep calling her by the name she had when we first met, Hatshepsut. Not that I ever met her, personally. Or C, they sought help from a fickle genie who keeps making things worse no matter what you say!
I don't think it's C, but I appreciate, the whimsy.
It's not whimsical. It's devastating. C, a genie that will stop at nothing to make my life a living hell, even though I followed his silly rules to the letter and I don't owe him anything.
Wait, the third option is a genie?
A or B?
Because genies aren't real.
They sure
That's
are.
tough.
I wish. C, a genie who insists I owe him, but is clearly mistaken, and I wish I had a wish left so I could wish Musashi here to teach him a lesson.
This genie thing it's getting strange, man. It's not even a bit anymore. It's like, people are talking.
It's just a bit.
You keep telling yourself that.
I would describe myself as, the professor.
Which makes me wonder, how old are you?
Yeah, you start jumping around in time and things get a little funky. Well, if you could ask the subject of today's story, which how could I? It's not like you can just wish to be able to time travel. C, a magical genie meddled once again with history and turned Policarpa in and tried to pin the blame on a bespectacled puppet who is at this point starting to suspect he may have made a deal with the devil.
I want to pick C just to pick C.
Don't.
But
Please don't.
If you're ever standing by a lake or the woods or something, and a plushy time traveler of sorts comes up to you and says, "In the future, this will be named after you," you might think, "Cool, I'm going to do something historic right here." I'm telling you right now, maybe hold off on that excitement. B, that somewhere deep in the Rocky Mountains he had cached a trove of treasured items, including a magical lamp that only a creature about the size of a human hand could get to, and inside the magical lamp was a genie capable of granting any wish, up to and including turning a seemingly everyday item into a secret time machine, but that if you wished for that, the genie would be a total prick about it, so maybe be careful what you wish for. B, the same curse that eventually befalls all of God's creatures. An evil genie was pursuing him through time and space to steal something the genie itself had made magical. Okay, Kate?
I'm going with B.
You're going with B? I'm gonna give you a jelly bean for being the first guest to go with one of the genie answers.
Ah, fantastic!
A, that she wasn't de Brinvilliers at all, but instead a genie. A puppet had apparently glued a wig to his head in the hopes of having the people of France put a stop to his chasing the puppet through time, but it doesn't work like that since the genie would just disappear at the moment of execution anyway. A, the government demanded Qingxi return her trans-shipped goods, including a vibrating crate stamped Jewel of the Whole Crew's private loot. Keep all genies away until at least 2535 CE.
The vibrating box that was the jewel that the genie is not allowed to have.
I don't know anything about that.
It seems really specific.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about that.
Okay. All right.
B. They told that sort of genie who'd been hanging about that if he cleaned up the mess, they'd hand over the bespectacled puppet they found trapped in the molasses. And oh, that damnable genie says, "You've got a deal," and snaps his spindly fingers, and poof, the molasses is gone. And the wicked cretins of Boston deliver unto the monster his sticky prize. Finally, hisses the dreadful beast, "Do you know the trouble you've caused me? The world isn't ready for the singing abominations your reckless little dance through time has created. Now, time to handle the most abominable singing puppet of them all." As the genie's trembling hands move toward our beloved hero, the rakish blue rogue smirks and whispers, "Let's crack in." As if taught by Houdini himself, the puppet unbinds himself in an instant and majestically dives for his satchel, reaches inside, and he suddenly disappears in a brilliant flash of light as that wretched goddamn loser genie lets out a time-shaking wail!